In this video, itutuloy lang natin yung ating discussion sa one-sided limits. So let the limit of f of x as x approaches c equals 0. If f approaches 0 through positive values, we write f of x approaches 0 positive. Similarly, if f approaches 0 through negative values, we write f of x approaches 0 negative. Okay? So dito pinapakita lang natin yung mga notation for f approaches 0 through positive values tsaka yung f approaches 0 through negative values. Okay? Now, if f of x approaches 0 positive as x approaches c and n is even, then yung limit ng nth root of f of x as x approaches c equals 0. So, ano ibig sabihin nito? Kapag yung values ng f of x ay nag-a-approach sa 0, pero yung mga values ng f of x ay dumaan sa positive values, meaning yung mga positive, paki-imagine na lang, yung mga positive values, yun yung ini-input natin dito. So, ang magiging limit niya ay 0. Okay, bakit kaya? Kasi valid, no, na yung mga positive yun nasa loob ng radical sign. Okay? Pero dito kasi, if f of x approaches 0, negative, as x approaches c, and n is even, then yung limit does not exist. So, bakit hindi nag-e-exist? Kasi, yung meaning nito, yung f of x, yung mga values ng f of x na tinutukoy dito na nag-a-approach sa 0 ay mga negative values. Okay? So dito kasi, ang tinutukoy na values dito ay yung mga positive values. Dito mga negative values. At since negative values sila, hindi mo sila pwedeng ilagay dito or i-substitute dito. Okay? Kasi bawal yung negative sa loob ng radical, magiging imaginary. Okay, kaya yung magiging limit niya does not exist. Okay? So, let's have example. Okay, so for example, let's have the function f of x equals square root of 2 minus x. Okay? So, hanapin natin yung limit ng square root of 2 minus x as x approaches 2 from the left. Okay? So, kung isa-substitute natin yan, since ano naman tong nasa loob, linear naman, so we have square root of 2 minus 2, and that is square root of 0. Okay? Pero ang tanong, saan dumaan yung values ng f na nag-a-approach dito sa 0? Dumaan ba siya dun sa negative o sa positive side? Okay? So, dito tayo babase. Yung x nag-a-approach sa 2 from the left. So meaning, ang mga isa-substitute nating values ng x ay yung mga mas mababa sa 2. Okay? So imagine natin yung 2 minus x, 2 minus yung mga mas mababa sa 2, anong lalabas lagi doon? Palaging positive. So ibig sabihin, yung values ng f of x na nag-approach sa 0, dumaan siya doon sa positive values. Okay? And the square root of 0 through positive values, so meaning nyan, yung limit ng square root of 2 minus x is 0. Okay? Kasi pwede yung ganyan. Okay? Now, how about limit of square root of 2 minus x as x approaches to positive? Okay? Or 2 from the right. So, substitute natin, square root of 2 minus 2, this is square root of 0, but since yung x approaches 2 from the right, ibig sabihin yung mga mas matataas sa 2, isa-substitute natin dito, 2 minus yung mga mas malalaki sa 2, then ang lalabas lagi dito sa loob, negative. Ibig sabihin, dumaan yung values ng function sa negative numbers. Okay? Which is nag-a-approach sa 0. Which is, ang mangyayari dito sa radical ay magiging imaginary. Okay? Kaya, ang mangyayari dito, yung limit does not exist. So, limit square root of 2 minus x as x approaches. So, pakita lang natin 0 from the 0 minus, okay, or 0 negative. 2 from the right does not exist. Okay? Okay, so let's have number 2. G of x is equal to square root of 2x squared plus x minus 1. So, hanapin natin yung limit ng square root of 2x squared plus x minus 1 as x approaches negative 1 from the left. So, i-factor muna natin yan. So, limit of square root of, that is 2x minus 1 quantity times x plus 1 as x approaches negative 1 from the left. Okay, so kung isa-substitute natin yan, that is square root of, eto, 2 times negative 1, negative 2 minus 1, negative 3. Then dito, negative 1 plus 1, that is 0. Ang tanong na lang ay kung true positive values or true negative values siya. So since yung negative 1 ay from the left, so yung mga mas mababa sa negative 1 ang isa-substitute natin sa values of x dito. At kung mas mababa sa negative 1 plus 1, ang lalabas dito ay negative, no? Puro siya negative. So, meaning, 0 minus. Okay? Then, negative 3 times 0 minus, this is equal to square root of 0 plus. Kasi kung puro negative ang tinutukoy nito, kasi true negative values, tapos negative, then positive. Then, this is equal to 0. Kasi square root of 0 positive. Okay? So, how about limit of square root of, i-factor na natin, 2x minus 1 times quantity x plus 1 as x approaches negative 1 from the right naman. Okay? So, same din kapag sinubstitute, that is negative 3, pero sa dito sa 0, that is 0 plus. Okay? Kasi dito yung mga values na mas malaki na sa negative 1, isa-substitute natin dito. Okay, so kapag nag-plus 1 siya, palaging positive na ang lalabas dito. Okay, so this will be square root of negative tapos true positive values, then magiging 0 true negative values. And the limit does not exist. So hindi pwede yung square root of 0 negative. Okay, so try naman natin limit of square root of 2x minus 1 times quantity x plus 1 as x approaches 1/2 from the left naman. Okay? So, substitute natin. This will be 2 times 1/2, that is 1 minus 1, so 0. Ang tanong na lang kung from the left to, sa substitute dito, kasi kung from the left yan, mga mas mababa sa 1/2 isa substitute dito, ang mangyayari dito ay magiging puro negative. Okay? Minus 1 tapos mas mababa to. So, puro negative ang lalabas dyan. Okay? Kasi ang mangyayari dito sa 2 times 1/2, yung mga mas mababa sa 1/2, magiging mas mababa siya dito sa 1. Kaya ang mangingibabaw, negative values. Okay? So, 0 minus, and then 1/2 plus 1, that is 3 over 2. Okay? So, 0 minus 3 over 2, this will be square root of 0 minus, then DNE. Limit does not exist. Okay? So, how about limit of square root of quantity 2x minus 1 times x plus 1 as x approaches 1/2 from the right? So, this will be square root of 0 positive naman. Kasi mas malaki naman sa 1/2, isa-substitute dito, mangingibabaw yung positive. Okay? So, true positive values, then 3 over 2, this will be square root of 0 positive, and this is equal to 0.